Hi, this is Anna at Yarn Folk. This is the weekly recap of our newsletter. This week, hopefully it will be pretty quick. We started out by talking about the fact that I am doing these video recaps, so I don't think I need to cover that anymore. As far as our calendar goes, we are now into July. Today is July 4th, and the shop is open until 3:30. We opened at 9, but it's past that now, so who cares? We are supporting our knitters doing the Olive Knits 4-day knit along, not 4 days, knit at your own pace. And it's not too late to start. So if you're still interested in that, give me a shout and we'll get you set up. We're also looking at maybe doing some holiday stockings this month. There's a link to a Ravelry bundle with a lot of patterns, both knit and crochet, in the blog post and email this week. And let's see, on July 17th, we're going to stay open until 8 o'clock for the Ellensburg Night Market. We didn't do that in June. It was just not feasible. But we're going to try and do it for the rest of the summer. In our section highlighting what's new in the shop, we showed you the Washington beanies from Nancy Bates. Nancy is the author of Knitting the National Parks and Knitting California. She's now doing a 50-state road trip series, and this is the hat for Washington. You can see it really evokes that sense of layered forest greens. This is actually what it looks like when I look out my front porch over the ridge. So it's really a pretty design, and we have kits. Polka Dot Sheep is so fast and so good. So once we saw the pattern, we reached out to Amy and she put together some kits in a jiffy, and I'm going to show you what we have in them. So the yarn is Polka Dot Sheep Whitefish Worsted, and there are 4 colors in this hat. There's a dark green. This is Sealy Lake, is the dark green. There is a medium green, and that one is, this is me trying to read through the camera. I'm not seeing the color name on this one, but kind of a medium olivey green. Then there is a light green. This is Quartzite. And then just a natural. The natural is called Beargrass. So the quantities are based on the pattern, and I did knit a sample to proof that everything was okay with the quantities. No real doubts. Nancy did change the quantities a little bit, but there's plenty of yarn. On my Ravelry project page, I have notes about the amount of yarn that I had left, and so I feel very confident about that for you. We added a couple of things to our kits. There is an option to add a Sasquatch to your forest, which I haven't done yet, but so we're just including a little bit of, this is Malbriga Rios in a couple of colors I had some extra of. So you can have a dark brown Sasquatch or a light brown Sasquatch or multiple Sasquatches, you do you. So those are in the kits. And then we also have a set of 6 stitch markers, all with kind of a woodsy theme. There we go. Yeah, so set of 6 stitch markers. The rings on these will accommodate up to a US 10.5 needle, and those are included with your kit. One thing about the kits is that I have divided the kit and the pattern. The pattern is sold separately. You can choose one or both at the link to the pattern. But I know sometimes people purchase patterns before they find the yarn. People might want to make more than one, so we decided to do the pattern separate from the kits. So that is that. And then going into our section where we talked about something inspiring, I talked a little bit about how the different ways that you can use duplicate stitch. For this pattern, this layered look comes about because in some rows there are 3 or 4 colors. And for most people, knitting that many colors at once in one row is kind of daunting. So the other way you can address that is by adding duplicate stitch. You're basically embroidering on the top of your knitting after you've completed the hat. So there are some resources. I linked to a couple of good videos demonstrating how this is done, and also another photo tutorial that gives you some information on how you can use duplicate stitch on the reverse side to weave in your ends. That's my preferred way of weaving in ends. So if duplicate stitch is not something that you're familiar with, it's a good skill to add to your toolbox. So there's that. And that is what we have for the inspiration section of the newsletter this week. In our section where we cover what we've been working on, this is the Distance Scarf DK from Olga Putano. The scarf pattern comes in 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large, and 1 ball of Lang Fortuna was enough to make the smallest size. The Fortuna is a 90% merino, 10% cashmere blend. It has kind of a spray dye effect, and again, 1 ball was enough to make the smallest size. 2 balls would make either the medium or the large size. This one is super small, super soft, and it was a really nice little cozy bit around my neck on Monday when it was cold, unlike today when it is not going to be cold. And I thought it was a really fun project. You start with a couple of small cables, then you increase. There's a little bit of a diamond taper thing going on there. And then the cable repeat is a 12-row repeat. The reverse side rows are knit the knits, purl the purls, as is typical with cabled projects. So you really only have 6 rows per repeat where you are cabling. And it was just a really fun project, very quick. I did divide the yarn into 2 halves, and just to make sure that I was going to have enough to work the pattern as written. I did just barely have enough, but 1 ball was enough, and the pattern is easy to modify. If one repeat is about this much, and if you did have to eliminate a repeat, you would still have something that was long enough to wear. That would be, the difference would be if your gauge was different than mine and the pattern gauge. So there we go. Really, really small, quick scarf. I think this one would be a great gifty kind of thing. Feels very luxurious, but quick to make.